Combining skill, strategy and teamwork, Overwatch is arguably the best FPS game today. Having just celebrated its second anniversary, it's still as popular as ever, and the competitive scene is one of the biggest in the gaming world. With a cool cast of characters, well-designed maps and a lively online scene, it's a great time to get into Overwatch. But where do you start? All the heroes have their own style of play, and it's tough to not look like a complete noob when you're first starting out. No worries, we've got you covered. Here's our top tips to help you find your main, play the vital positions and become the MVP of every game. One, be a team player. When you get right down to it, Overwatch is all about teamwork. In every match there are two teams, the attackers and the defenders. The attackers need to either capture the defenders' points or push a payload to the end of the map, and the defenders need to stop them. There are 4 different types of heroes: offense, defense, tanks and supports. Unfortunately though, Blizzard's classifications aren't always that helpful. There are support characters that work more like tanks and tanks that work more like offense characters. So here's a more accurate breakdown of the character roles. Frontline offense. Frontline offense heroes need to be the main force pushing the point just behind the tanks. If you don't have any of these characters, you might get kills, but capturing the objective is going to be much harder. Flanking offense. Flanking offense characters go round the side, picking off the enemy healers and generally being a distraction. They tend to be more vulnerable or have limited range, so they don't do so well in straight up fights. Anchor tanks. Anchor tanks are the core of the team. They need to be in front, shielding everyone else. These guys are especially important if you're defending. Support tanks. Support tanks either provide extra damage like Roadhog, zip around to guard the flanks and take out snipers like D.Va and Winston, or provide extra situational shielding like Zarya. These characters aren't quite beefy enough to defend the whole team like an anchor, but they back up the more vulnerable characters when they need it. Healers. The healers in the game can be split into main healers and support healers. Main healers are the characters that do the most healing, and ideally you want to keep at least one main healer to keep people topped up. Support healers don't do as much healing, but they have other benefits. Zenyatta makes enemies easier to kill, and Lucio can give everyone a speed boost. Snipers and zone control. These characters need a keen sense of strategy and often some executional finesse to have the biggest impact. Snipers pick off lower health characters with headshots, ruining enemy pushes by taking out vital opponents, and zone control characters limit the opponent's movement, slowing down or killing enemies who enter their area of control. When you start off, try and get a little taste of everyone, get a feel for their abilities, strengths and weaknesses. Once you've done that, pick around 3 of your favorites and focus on practicing with them. So you can fill any position, try to include a tank, a healer and a damage dealer. Mercy, Soldier 76 and Reinhardt are all good picks to start out with. Soldier will be familiar to anyone who's played Call of Duty. He's got an assault rifle, a sprint and a heal. Hide behind your team's shields and fire away. Mercy is the easiest healer to pick up, and her raw healing is arguably the best in the game. Stick close to tanks and use her mobility to heal people stuck in a bad situation. Reinhardt is the original anchor tank. Stay on the front lines with your shield up, and when the enemy are on the point, just hold down that left mouse button and swing, swing, swing that hammer. Whatever you play, stay focused on your role. If you're playing a support hero, prioritize healing and backing up your teammates over kills. Don't get cocky. You need your team as much as they need you, so be a team player. Sometimes picking the right character for your team can land you doing stuff you wouldn't usually do, but go with the flow. The best way to learn the game is to experience it from all positions. 2. Group up. Overwatch is all about team fights. No one player is going to take down the whole enemy team solo, they need support. If things are getting rough and the enemy team is taking ground, it can be tempting to just run back ASAP and try and turn the tide, but don't. Taking the time to group up and push as a team is far more likely to get good results. When you're pushing, focus your fire. If you see your team are pouring fire on the enemy Roadhog, follow their lead. If you're playing a flanking DPS, try and isolate and pick off their healers first. Once you've got a couple of good kills, push hard as a team and they should crumple. Pairing up a Roadhog and an Orisa can be deadly. Use Orisa's Halt ability to get enemies in position, then Roadhog can use his hook to pick them off. Pairing up a flanking offense character with a mobile tank like Winston or D.Va is also really effective. The flanker can deal the damage and the tank can fight off anyone looking to interfere. Another tried and true tactic is known as Pharah Mercy. A Pharah and a Mercy team up, with the Mercy damage boosting and healing when needed. Against a poorly prepared team, this combination can be unbeatable. 3. Stay on target. When you play Overwatch, it's tough not to want to get that sweet kill streak that will nab you play of the game. If you want to win though, you might need to put those feelings aside. In Overwatch, you don't win by getting kills, you win by capturing points and pushing payloads. Kills are an essential part of victory, but always remember what you're here for. If you've got the enemy team in full retreat, chasing them down and maybe getting killed could cost you a victory, while staying on the point and defending it from counterattacks is always a good strategy. If your team has been broken and it looks certain that you're going to lose point, stalling is a valid strategy. Pick a fast character, get to the point as quickly as possible, and kill time. Sometimes this can give your team a chance to reform and counterattack. 4. Switch when you need to. When things are going badly, it's tough not to just double down. It can be tempting to think, if I just hold on a bit longer, I can use my ult and turn things around. Sometimes though, your team comp just can't cut it against theirs, and that's when someone's got to switch. Their flankers are picking off your healers? Switch to D.Va and chase them down. A Pharah is annihilating your shields? Switch to McCree or Widowmaker and swat her out of the sky. A Bastion is set up on a choke point and is mowing everyone down? Switch to Sombra and shut down its turret mode with a hack. Every Overwatch hero has their strengths and weaknesses, and it can take time to learn which characters counter each other. Here's a quick and dirty guide to start off with. Flankers like Genji and Tracer can deal a lot of damage, but can't take out a fast moving tank like D.Va or Winston. Tanks with high health pools or shields, like Reinhardt or Roadhog, can be focused down by high damage heroes like Junkrat or Bastion. Healers can be deceptively tough in a fight, but they can't stand up to well played flanking DPS. It'll take time to learn the best way to take down each hero, so don't be afraid to switch out and try something new. 5. Use ults wisely. Managing your ultimate abilities is one of the most important skills in Overwatch. How you want to use your ult depends on the character, but here are some good rules of thumb. First, don't use your ult if there's no one around to capitalize on it. You could get an awesome quadruple kill with your ult, but if you're the only one alive in your team, it's not going to achieve anything. Second, keep an eye on the ult charge of your teammates and try and combo your ults at just the right moment. Using a couple of ults to capture a point or to blunt an enemy push are both way more useful than getting some cheap kills while the enemy are regrouping. Zarya's ult, Graviton Surge, has great combo potential. It creates a black hole that sucks all nearby enemies into it. Follow this up with Junkrat's Riptire, Hanzo's Dragon Strike or D.Va's Self-Destruct, and you can potentially turn around a whole match. Ana's Nano Boost also works great when used on an already ulting Genji, Soldier or Roadhog, turning their already high damage ultimate abilities into instant kills. Finally, don't panic. If you're getting some pressure on you, it can be tempting to blow that ult to try and turn things around. Most of the time though, they'll just kill you before you can finish using it and your ult will be wasted. It's better to take the hit now, come back stronger and use the ult when it will actually matter. 6. Learn the maps. Overwatch maps are full of side routes, shortcuts and hidden paths. Learning where they are and which characters can use them is essential to success, especially if you're defending. You can learn the routes just by playing a lot and paying attention, or you can load up a map in a custom game and explore all you want. Certain characters are stronger or weaker on certain maps. Ilios and Lijiang Tower have plenty of opportunities for environmental kills, so characters that can push enemies around like Lucio, Roadhog and Pharah are very effective. Other maps like Rialto and Eichenwald have tons of natural bottlenecks where heroes like Orisa and Junkrat shine. 7. Practice. Getting a good game sense, a feel for how matches flow, is essential to becoming a great player. Unfortunately, the only way to get that is to practice. Get on the practice range with every character, get a feel for their abilities, play matches against bots, and then when you're comfortable, on quick play. Read guides for specific characters, watch footage of the best, and practice, practice, practice. Eventually, using your favorite character's abilities will become second nature. Do any of you Overwatch vets out there have any more tips for new players? Let us know in the comments. Click the thumbs up if you liked this video and subscribe to Ultimo Hombre for more game guides, competitive gaming, and news from our live events. See you next time.